Well, hello, all. Welcome to another Friday cruise news you can use. Hope you're enjoying your Friday and hope you're going to enjoy your weekend. Let's dive right into it. So, cruise chaos is a real thing. Passengers behaving badly, surprise fees, free coffee perks, and major policy changes that you need to know about. This week, we got stories that'll make you shake your head. A cruise passenger in a wheelchair was left in tears after a shocking elevator incident. Hello, Ilya. Thank you for joining us again today. Disney cruisers just had their itinerary changed. Carnival is quietly offering a drink package most people don't even know exists, and the value is debatable. And one guest gets slapped with a $411 phone bill. Wait till you hear why. And if you think cruise prices are bad now, just wait till you see what new fees are rolling out. Let's get going. So first up, shocking elevator incident leaves a cruise passenger in tears. Hello, Travel Cake Trips. How you doing? So, unfortunately, a wheelchair-bound passenger was allegedly attacked as she entered an elevator on embarkation day of a recent cruise. The woman stated that there were already three people in the elevator, and one of the women, as the woman in the wheelchair came in, another woman started screaming at her that the wheelchair-bound woman had hit her 90-year-old mother with her wheelchair. The wheelchair-bound person adamantly denied that. Now, I didn't touch her. I was nowhere near her. Well, that just irritated the other person even more so. So while she's screaming and cursing at this woman, she pushes the wheelchair, almost knocking the wheelchair over, and basically threatened the victim, saying, if I see you anywhere on this cruise for the next week, I'm going to knock you over. Well, unfortunately, the victim is wheelchair bound because she has multiple sclerosis. She was pretty shaken and scared for the rest of the trip, which I can totally understand. And it begs the question, one, I wonder if the cruise line ever did anything, because I'm sure the article stated that this woman, the one who was attacked, did go to security about it, and I'm sure they have videos of it. I don't know if they have audio as well, but I would hope that the cruise line took some sort of action, because that's just not right. We all know, if any of you have been on a cruise, we all know, let's just say, elevator etiquette is not a thing anymore, if it ever was. People, cram into the elevator as the doors open before anybody could get off. It's a nightmare. So yeah, unfortunately, that's not a good way to start your cruise. Next up, Disney Fantasy cancels a port stop. So if you are sailing in September of 2025 on the Disney Fantasy in Europe, you are scheduled to stop in Gothenburg, Sweden. Well, unfortunately, that's not happening. That stop has been replaced with a stop in Copenhagen, Denmark. And I'm not sure, everybody's going to have their own opinions whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But the explanation that was provided was that the port canceled the berth, and that was basically it. No more information was given. The rest of the itinerary, Zeebrugge, Amsterdam, and Kristiansand, do remain unchanged at this time. Disney has announced that they will allow customers to modify or cancel their trip with minimal penalties due to that change, if they really, really wanted to go to that stop in Sweden. Honestly, it's February as I record this, so that cruise doesn't sail until September. You've got time to look around and see if there's anything you want to do in Copenhagen, or if you want to switch up and go on another cruise, or just get your money back. Next up, Carnival's secret drink package. That's kind of, yes, I agree. It is good of Disney to allow them to make that change. I got the feeling that it was not necessarily free, but there'd be a minimal charge for canceling But again, that's kind of standard. I mean, they're 7 months out. So, so Carnival has been getting some comments recently from people who want a specialty coffee drink package, or at least to have specialty coffees included in some of the existing drink packages. And one of the Carnival representatives basically said, "Well, we already have basically, a specialty coffee drink package." And he went on to explain that if you buy 6 specialty coffees at Java Blue Cafe, which is the coffee shop on most Carnival ships, you get the 7th one for free if you get the little card that they have to punch the card every time you buy a coffee. And I don't know, maybe I'm alone here, but honestly, my first thought was, whoop-de-doo. I'm buying 6 coffees at $4 or $5 a piece, and I get one for free. Not well. I won't say it that way. I'm not big into specialty coffees, so this run doesn't really affect me all that much. I drink, coffee from the free coffee that you get, whether it be from the buffet or, the promenade, the Lido deck, where, so this one doesn't really affect me. But for those of you who do live and die, for lack of a better way of saying it, on those specialty coffees, I can definitely understand why this would not be a happy resolution for you. Unfortunately, Carnival did say that they don't plan on including them in their drink packages anytime soon. My guess is it would take a significant outcry for Carnival to change its policy. Arguably, people, thousands of people writing in or canceling trips, or something to make it known that this is really desired. Now, I know, other cruise lines, they do offer specialty coffees as part of some of their drink packages, and it would be nice if Carnival could follow suit. But maybe maybe there's not enough demand on their ships. Different clientele. I don't know. Next up, this one, I felt bad for the family, but it also made me chuckle. So, a family recently went on a Carnival cruise, and the I believe it was a teenage son, or no, I'm sorry, teenage daughter, could not bear to be away from her beau, her significant other of the week, and not communicate with them while they were away on the 7-night sailing. So she basically kept calling and FaceTiming, and acted as if she was still sitting at home, on the free Wi-Fi. The family gets home from their cruise, and they've got a $411 phone bill, which honestly, I think they got away pretty cheap. I have personally spoken with several people who have come home to over $1,000 bills. And so this family decided to reach out to one of Carnival's ambassadors and say, "Hey, we feel that you didn't do enough to let us know that roaming charges would apply. So we feel you should pay for at least half of the phone bill." Well, Carnival, somebody needs to get a job at McDonald's. Carnival's ambassador basically says, "Well, nope, we're not doing it. You were advised of roaming charges will apply. It's stated in your cruise contract. It's stated on, in various parts of the ship. It's stated in the app, and over and over and over again." And basically, Carnival said, "Too bad, so sad." So I'm sure the conversation when that phone bill arrived with the teenage daughter was not a pleasant one. Maybe they'll learn. Maybe they will need to get that job at McDonald's. So if you have never been on a cruise, or you've never taken your phone on a cruise, I'm going to let you know, if you make a phone call, you're going to get charged roaming charges, and they're upwards of, I've seen $1 a minute, $1.50 a minute for roaming charges. Get on the ship, put your phone in Wi-Fi, or I'm sorry, in airplane mode. And if you have the ship's Wi-Fi package, well, then you turn your Wi-Fi on and you use your phone via Wi-Fi. You cannot make phone calls, regular phone calls, even on the ship's Wi-Fi. You can do, you can do FaceTime depending upon the plan you get and the strength of the Wi-Fi. You can do WhatsApp. There's a lot of other options, but making a regular phone call, not happening. And yes, you're absolutely right. Don't forget to disconnect your smartwatch. Put that in airplane mode as well. Or honestly, yes, I'm kind of old school. I don't take my smartwatch with me on the cruise. I've got a cheapo $10 Timex, a battery operated Timex watch. That's the only one I take on the cruise because one, I don't want to have to worry about my smartwatch, jacking up my phone bill. But also this way I set that watch manually to ship's time and I'm always on ship's time. I'm never, it's never automatically updating basing on, us crossing some invisible line somewhere. And, now I'm 2 hours off ship's time and I'm a pier runner. So, and then last story of the day, Margarita at Sea. For those of you who are not aware, there is a small cruise line based out of Florida, Margaritaville at Sea. They own 2 ships. One ship is on the East Coast, and they do basically weekend type trips to, I believe it's Nassau. You leave Friday night, you're in Nassau Saturday morning. You can either, you spend the day on Nassau, and if you want to come back on Saturday, you can. If not, you can grab a hotel and stay there till Sunday, and then Sunday night you come floating back to the East Coast of Florida. The other one is it's a newer ship, I believe, and they're based out of I believe Tampa, Florida, West Coast of Florida, and they do 3 to 7 day trips. But they're in the news today because unfortunately they have increased the gratuity fees on board their ship. They've increased them from $18 to $20 per night for regular cabins and from $22 to $24 per night for suites. So now, arguably that's not out of whack compared to, the major cruise lines. I just looked at it for Carnival, and I think it was like $20. Honestly, I don't recall off the top of my head. No, there was no given reason as to why. Honestly, I think because they can. They probably looked around and said, "Wait a minute, we're cheaper than everybody else. Let's get even, so we can make a little bit more money." So yeah, it's not arguably not that big of a deal, but you think about an extra $2 a day, you're on it for 7 nights, you got a family of 4, it's not chump change anymore. So just be aware of that, if you ever decide to do one of those, the Margaritaville at Seas, which I would, if I lived in Florida, I would probably check it out. It's a quick, easy getaway. The rates are pretty cheap. I want to say the one that takes you to Nassau and back is like $99 a person or $159 a person, something like that. It's not too bad. So yeah, that's a bit about it. That wraps up today's coverage of the latest cruise news, from shocking onboard confrontations to unexpected itinerary changes, and on and on and on. I'm not going to rehash all of the stories. So whether you're planning your next voyage or just like staying informed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss an update. And until next time, Ilio, wave goodbye. Happy cruising. Have a great weekend. He's such a camera boy. Take care. Travel Cake Trips. It was a pleasure speaking with you today.